dangerous. If you're one of us, then roll with us, cause we make the hipsters fall in love when we got our hot pants on and up. And yes, of course we does. We run in this town just like a club. And no, you don't wanna mess with us. Got Jesus on my necklace. Got that glitter on my eyes. Stockings ripped all up the side. Looking sick and sexified. So let's go. Let's go. Tonight we're going hard, 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 hard. Just like the world is ours. We're tearing it apart, 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 apart. You know we're superstars. We are who we are. We're dancing like we're done, 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 done. Our bodies go numb, 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 numb. We'll be forever young, 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 young. You know we're superstars. We are who we are. DJ, turn it up. It's about damn time to live it up. I'm so sick of being so serious. It's making my brain delirious. I'm just talking true. I'm telling you about the shit we do. We're selling our clothes, sleeping in cars, dressing it down, hitting on dudes. Got that glitter on my eyes. Stockings ripped all up the side. Looking sick and sexified. So let's go. Let's go. Tonight we're going hard, 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 hard. Just like the world is ours. We're tearing it apart, 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 apart. You know we're superstars. We are who we are. We're dancing like we're done, 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 done. Our bodies go numb, 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 numb. We'll be forever young, 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 young. You know we're superstars. We are who we are. DJ, turn it up, 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 up. DJ, turn it up, 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 up. DJ, turn it up, 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 up.
So, hello and welcome. You just watched that intro. And so to answer the question from the thumbnail, no, this isn't combination blow. And no, this isn't abysmal dog shit. It's an actual build. There is a third option of build crafting. Strong and creative build crafting. These days, with Destiny 2 content creators, it seems like you only get two options. You can either watch the repetitive meta slop that every single YouTuber has made the same exact video on, featuring things like combination blow, speedloader slacks, etc. You know it. Or you can watch them attempt to actually build craft for once and fail miserably because they've never actually engaged with the build crafting in Destiny 2. It has gotten to a point that a certain YouTuber has started uploading videos featuring anti-synergies between the different aspects of his build. He made a build on the Warlock class featuring the exotic chess piece Metadoxia, and in all of his wisdom, he chose to combine it with the Weavework aspect, which stops him from even using 90% of what the exotic armor does.
Wait. I don't know what's going on with you.
There's definitely no limit to the build crafting LARP. But with that little rant out of the way, let's actually get into build specifics. This build features buffs and debuffs galore, leading to decreased enemy damage output, massive damage resistance for yourself, great ad clear capabilities, while still preserving good single target damage. This build is a perfect all-rounder for your day-to-day activities, only excluding things like raids and dungeons, where of course you want to maximize your boss DPS and not your ad clear. And the way we achieve all of those things is by using Hunter's most underrated, underused subclass and combining it with two entirely forgotten exotics. Our subclass of choice is the Strand subclass, and we are combining it with the exotic Exterior's special ammo grenade launcher and the exotic Mothkeeper wraps. So what do these things do? Starting with our subclass configuration. Of course, Strand is only locked to one super, so Silk Strike it is. I am using Marksman Dodge. I prefer Marksman Dodge for two reasons. The first reason being, I don't like reloading, especially my rocket launcher. I hate how long the reload animation is. So this just gives me some beautiful instant reloads. So Marksman Dodge for that. And the second reason is collecting ammo with this build can prove to be quite difficult with all of the explosions going on. It's very hard at times to see where did your ammo brick land. So I like to use Marksman Dodge to simply swoop it all up. But the choice is up to you whether you prefer Marksman Dodge or Gambler's Dodge. For our jump, triple jump, Threaded Spike as our melee, the new Slice Wire Grenade as our grenade of choice. For the aspects I'm using Widow's Silk for 2 grenade charges, and Whirling Maelstrom for the Strand fidget spinners. Now for our fragments, we first of all have Thread of Continuity, so all of our Strand debuffs simply last a bit longer. Next up we have Thread of Ascent. Using our grenade ability gives us another way to reload our guns, and the plus 10 weapon set is also really nice to have. For our third fragment we have Thread of Fury. Damaging targets with a tangle grants melee energy, and what's beautiful about this is it works with the Whirling Maelstrom Strand fidget spinner, so as long as we have one on the field, we continuously gain back melee energy. As our fourth fragment, we have Thread of Warding. Picking up an Orb of Power grants Woven Mail. Now this Woven Mail sadly only lasts 5 seconds, but it's good to have nevertheless. And as our fifth fragment, we have Thread of Generation, so dealing damage generates grenade energy, which fits perfectly in our grenade focused build. Is what I would be saying if it wasn't currently bugged with Slice Wire Grenade, stopping it from providing any grenade energy to you. So if this bug ever gets fixed, use Thread of Generation, but otherwise you can use whatever you want here. My personal choice here is Thread of Propagation, for the only reason that it gives me plus 10 melee stat. But alternatively, you could use something like Thread of Finality, finish your final blows, create threadlings, or Thread of Isolation, landing rapid precision hits amidst a severing burst from the target. Our exotic armor of choice, as already mentioned, Mothkeeper's wraps. The exotic trait, Winged Eclipse, defeat targets to charge up cages of loyal moths that fly towards nearby targets or allies. Now how this exotic works in practice is that every kill either gives you 1 or 2 stacks depending on enemy tier. Red bar enemies give 1 stack, yellow bar enemies 2 stacks. Once you reach 6 stacks, you earn 2 moth grenade charges. These can be thrown like normal grenades, and on impact they will spawn 2 moths. Depending on where you throw them, these will either be arc or void moths. If you throw the grenade very far away from yourself, directly near some enemies, it will spawn 2 arc moths. If you throw the grenade behind yourself, where no enemies are, it will spawn 2 void moths. If you throw them anywhere near yourself and there's enemies around, it will spawn 1 of each. So in most general gameplay, you're gonna throw them somewhat near yourself, so it's gonna be one of each. But if you can manage, you should always try to throw them far away, so you can get 2 offensive arc moths. Our exotic weapon of choice is the Exterior's Special Ammo Grenade Launcher. This weapon has an effectively bottomless magazine, which is only counteracted by its very slow fire rate, although that can be increased by either dealing sustained damage with the weapon itself or taking sustained damage from enemies whilst holding the weapon. Its second unique trait is Loyal Moths. Final blows or rapid direct hits with this weapon create a loyal moth. The catalyst for exteriors will furthermore amplify us whenever we get a kill with the weapon, and also whilst amplified, the fire rate of the weapon itself will ramp up faster. The thing that makes exteriors so good in this build is the hidden synergy it has when you use it in combination with Mothkeeper wraps. There's multiple small little tweaks you will notice. First of all, Loyal Moths, Final Blows and Rapid Direct Hits will now spawn 2 moths, not only the offensive Arc Moth, but always a secondary Void Moth, which is very nice to keep you alive in general gameplay, since it even works when doing boss damage through the rapid hits. And additionally, kills with exteriors or with a summoned moth from exteriors both account for more progress towards your Mothkeeper wrap grenades. Now, without any further additions, this build would be mediocre at best. The parrying of Strand and Arc would just be too random, it would make no sense, so that's where our seasonal artifact comes into play, the Tablet of Ruin. So getting into the artifact, our very first perk is already so good. Dielectric. Kills on arc debuff targets will grant us stacks of bolt charge, and additionally, if they're kills in quick succession, will generate an orb of power and heal a small portion of health. So just at base, we already have a ton of arc blinding happening with this build. We have our exteriors, and we have our Mothkeeper wraps. Now our second artifact perk, Photonic Flare, is what really expands our blinding capabilities. Photonic Flare makes it so when we kill exhausted or severed targets with arc damage, they release a blinding burst. Now this is where you're probably going, that's why we're on Strand and we're using arc with it. We can sever enemies by either using our Threaded Spike melee ability or by using our Slice Wire Grenade, which we even have 2 charges of because we're using the Widow's Silk aspect. And as if that isn't enough easily accessible sever on your subclass, we get 2 more artifact perks that further help us sever even more enemies. The first one being Vile Weave. Targets hit by your tangles are severed. Reduce tangle cooldown by picking one up. And the severing effect does apply to every single tick of damage that the fidget spinner deals. And the second one, Horde Shuttle. Damaging unraveled targets with a weapon occasionally spawns a Threadling. Threadlings sever targets that they damage. Now in just a second I'll get into how we actually unravel targets. Just know that we will be spawning those Threadlings that will sever enemies. So with that new information, looking back at Photonic Flare, you now probably realize that looking too intensely at an enemy probably has a chance to sever them. So every single enemy we come across is severed, which means every single exterior kill will further spread blind to nearby enemies. So now that we've gone over how we can sever and blind everything, let's talk about what our Bolt Charge stacks are gonna do. Bolt Charge grants us lightning strikes that already on their own deal a sizable amount of damage to enemies, but through the help of our artifact, they are going to be buffed twofold. Through the artifact perk Flashover, we are going to become amplified every time we reach maximum bolt charge stacks, and additionally, all of our lightning bolts will deal more damage. And the artifact perk Defibrillating Blast will make it so we gain maximum bolt charge stacks every time we stun a champion, and now all of our lightning will also jolt enemies and heal us. And now to round up the artifact, we have another beautiful, wonderful, very strong artifact perk, Two Shreds, where if we deal sustained damage to severed targets, we unravel them. So if you remember, if we damage unraveled targets, we summon those shredlings. So that's how we can unravel literally everything we come across and spawn severing threadlings from them. And in conjunction with unraveling everything, we get strand hotspots that dispense woven mail to you and nearby allies simply for killing severed targets. And to finish the build breakdown, let's talk about the set bonus. Our armor set bonus is the Yearning Echo. This armor set comes from the Grasp of Avarice dungeon. The 2-piece bonus is what gives us the damage resistance, and also a bit of extra reload speed for our weapons, simply by picking up ammo, orbs of powers, or elemental pickups. We are granted stacks of Untold Greed, and for each stacks, up to a certain soft cap, which I think is around 10 stacks, you gain more damage resistance and more reload speed for all of your weapons. The 4-piece bonus, while you have any stacks of Untold Greed, orbs of powers and elemental pickups provide more of their respective energy, so in our build we get more super energy from orbs of powers, and additionally, strand tangles deal increased damage. Now, how much more damage? 5 times the damage. Our tangles deal absolutely ludicrous damage with the set bonus. Just for a little comparison, this is the damage that a normal tangle with Whirling Maelstrom does. This is the damage it does with the 4-piece active. And this is the damage 9 rocket launcher shots deal. Yes, you heard right, 9 rocket launcher shots. All of our heavy ammo gone. Down the drain. And that's half the functionality that this set bonus has, by the way. If you have 5 or more stacks of Untold Greed and your shields are broken, 4 orbs of power will shoot out in front of you. Normal orbs of power, so that means you get super energy, you get ability energy and healing if you build into that through armor mods. For this build we get Woven Mail when we pick up an orb of power, and also a little bit of healing through the armor mod Recuperation. And because they're orbs of powers, they give back Untold Greed stacks. So that means you only need to get 1 more stack through a tangle, another ammo brick, or another orb of power, and you can shit out 4 orbs again. Just to demonstrate how powerful this is, I'm playing a -40 conquest here with the brawler modifier active, so I barely get any healing from the orbs of power. But the Woven Mail, the amplification, the orbs of powers, and the overshields from my moths are making it borderline impossible for me to die. I'm playing so bad right here, and I cannot die. This set bonus is what really makes this build just such an all-rounder. A build that doesn't just have insane ad clear, but also really, really good champion and boss clearing capabilities. For all the people that skipped ahead, here's the summary. We are on the Strand subclass with this configuration. We are using the Exterior's Grenade Launcher as our exotic weapon of choice. As a kinetic slot weapon, I'd recommend a primary, just so you get no ammo problems with exteriors. Just use utility perks, like attrition orbs, like kinetic tremors, use champion stun weapons, whatever. Then our power ammo weapon is a bit special. I'm using a Danger Zone Collective Demolition Rocket Launcher. So after I destroy or throw a tangle, for a short time, my rocket launcher generates grenade energy on hits. And also with Danger Zone, when I'm surrounded, I can do the cool rocket jumps that you've been seeing in the gameplay. It's a genuine get out of jail for free card. The radius in which you need to be surrounded is very lenient, and the buff even lingers after you're no longer surrounded for 4 seconds. So it's a very, very good quality of life perk to have. This is how I have the seasonal artifact set up. We are using Mothkeeper wraps. These are my armor mods. And the set bonus is the Yearning Echo set bonus from the Grasp of Ares dungeon. Your two most important stats are first of all Grenade and Weapons, since we want to spam our Exterior's Grenade Launcher as much as possible. After that, it's kinda up to preference. If you want a higher class ability, higher melee, higher super, as long as you invest into the two main stats, you will be fine. Now, no matter how much thought you want to put into playing this build, one guideline everybody using this build should follow is that when you start a combat engagement, whether it's at the start of your activity or you've been out of combat for a long time, you want to get all of your buffs up immediately. So, when you spot enemies and you start to engage them, you want to pick out the weakest of the bunch. You want to sever that enemy using your Threaded Spike, Slice Wire Grenade, or a Tangle. And then you want to kill that severed enemy with your Exteriors. This will trigger 5 different effects. The first 3 come from it being an Exteriors kill. So you get your Amplified from the kill. And the 2 moths spawn. So you spawn an offensive Arc Moth. And you get a partial overshield from the friendly moth. The other 2 effects come from killing a severed target. First of all, it will create a tangle, since it's a strand debuff. And second of all, because of our artifact mod, 2 shreds, we're also getting the woven mail hotspot. So you made it to the end of the video. I still have multiple different hunter builds that are both unique and strong, and really unique in the way that you will never see a video about them from any other YouTuber, even though they're all really strong. So if that interests you, be on the lookout for the next video. And as this is my first video, I do not know what I'm doing. So if you have any feedback as to the explanation was too long, you should have used more gameplay, do that and that different the next time. If you have any feedback to give, please do so, because I would love to improve.